Good morning, and thanks for taking the time out of your day to click on this video. Hey, if you like this video, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. I appreciate it. I'm going to present this video differently for the first time by narrating, because most of the times when I'm on the water and filming, I get caught up in the fishing and routinely leave out a lot of information that I wanted to talk about. I'm going to talk first about safety and show you how to locate and catch summertime crappie in any major river system that's used for navigation. Anything I say here is based solely on opinion and is not a substitute for an official education on water safety. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers have placed over 70 wing dikes, wing dams, or jetties, whichever you prefer to call them, in this pool alone. There are 12 navigational pools on the Arkansas River in the state of Arkansas. Their purpose is to redirect most of the current to the center of the river channel to help prevent erosion along the banks. They extend from the bank to as long as 200 yards and usually at a 90-degree angle to the main river channel. Some critical things to know about the Arkansas River are the water release rate, the barge traffic, and the location of wing dikes and underwater structures. When the flows reach 70,000 cubic feet per second, Corps of Engineers release a small craft advisory. I don't go out in the main river channel when this is issued. Many years ago, there was an incident that happened in this very pool when a couple got out in the river channel in a small john boat. They couldn't get their outboard started before the current carried them both and their boat through the floodgates of the Terry Dam. Both were knocked unconscious, and miraculously they both survived because they were both wearing their life jackets at the time. Always check water release rates from the Corps Engineers website or by phone before heading out to the river. Just remember, a rain in Oklahoma can cause a record flood in Arkansas like it did in 2019. Always observe barge traffic. They have a right of way on the water. They can also kick up some pretty powerful waves. 14-foot john boat and a 4-foot wave will not turn out good, so stay a good ways away from them and always have an escape plan. There are wing dikes that are underwater deep enough to pass over without striking them, and then there's some that are just barely under the water that would be struck at a normal water level. Others stick out of the water at normal pool, but are unseen when the water level rises. You must know the location of all wing dikes in the area you plan to fish before you head out to the water. You can find charts from the Corps Engineer website or from other sites like Navionics, and most fish finders with a chart plotter will have navigation information built in and will show you locations of the wing dikes. Anytime you get outside of the safe navigation channel, you'll need to have a plan. I've seen stumps in 15 feet of water that barely stick out of the surface in a normal pool that would sink a barge. If the water level rose a foot, it would be unseen. Use caution in the shallow backwater areas also. There are hidden obstacles and flying carp. I've seen a 3-inch piece of solid steel only an inch below the surface in one area, and I've already had a large flying carp jump in my boat. Yes, they are here. And remember, always wear a life jacket. This is not a certified course on boating safety. Before you head out to the water, make sure you receive an official education on safety. Okay, enough of that for now. Let's talk about the reason why we're here. Finding and catching summertime crappie on the Arkansas River. The upstream side of the wing dikes catch sand deposited by the river and is usually shallower with a bit of turbidity, which makes it unsuitable for holding crappie, while the downstream side is usually deeper and is ideal for holding large schools of crappie. When you navigate behind a dike, you'll leave the deep river channel and enter into a shallower water area. If you keep going, almost always there's a deep hole close to the bank. Some trees that grow on top of the dikes become quite large, and eventually, due to the lack of a root support, they'll fall into that deep water. And when I say deep, I mean 15 to 20 feet of water. When this happens, you got a good recipe for crappie habitat. Remember, not all wing dikes will hold crappie. When I boat behind a dike, I'm using side and down imaging to show my depth and if there are any hidden treetops in that deep water. Now here's a tree that fell right out in the deep water and is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. This tree top is in 15 feet of water, and you can see the top is about 9 to 10 feet deep and is packed with hundreds of crappie. And here's the treetop that I just went over the top of. When you find a big school of crappie like this on the Arkansas River, trust me, they will bite in the summertime. The water is always stained in this river, and dark colors like purple and blue will always get the most strikes. Cool, deep water in the water column flows through the floodgates in the dam, and the water temps are always cooler here than at other places. The further downstream you get from the dam, the warmer the water temperature gets. The water surface temp here is about 86 degrees, even though we've had close to 100-degree temperatures for a couple of weeks now. I've used the buoy to mark the submerged treetop, and you can see how far I've drifted away from the buoy before I got the first crappie. They will usually pack up in one small area on the treetop, and you can stay in that one spot and catch several crappie. You can leave that buoy where it's at and remember where the bite comes from in relation to the buoy, or you can drop another buoy where the bites are. I caught 2 crappie off at this spot, and since I'm not keeping fish, there's no need for me to keep hammering this treetop. My sole purpose this morning was to find them and mark the locations. After 2 hours of searching behind 6 wing dikes, I only found 1 school of crappie, and man, it was a good one. I did return to a previously found spot from a different day and caught a real nice slab. Yep, they were still there. There's a good crappie. Yes, sir. Very nice. Definitely wasn't coming off. Pretty white.